What's good, duelist? Johnny Akusa here, coming at you with an update to my Build-A-Bear Herald deck. This is the fluffal Herald deck, ready for link format. Hope you guys enjoyed this update. This is my finalized version of the deck with the sideboard in tow, extra deck, and main deck. So without further ado, let's get to this deck profile. First off, we are running 1, 2, 3 copies of the Man himself, Herald of Perfection. Pretty much negates anything and everything your opponent throws at you, and all you gotta do is pitch fairies. It's just pretty good. Really good to run 3. Next, I run 3 copies of the Cyber Angel Benton. This card is your 1-card Herald. You summon Herald using this card, and you just go off. It's just insane. This card is amazing. Konami was so amazing to pull this card out of nowhere. 1-card Herald, perfect card for the deck. Then I run the 3 copies of the Star Seraph Scepter. Self-explanatory. Use him for the summon of Ouroboros, maybe Utopia Prime if you want to go into Lightning without using Utopia. You can also link summon with these guys to make a Decode Talker. You can make Stellanite Deltaros. You know, the possibilities are pretty much endless when it comes to this engine. And of course, you run the 3 copies of the Star Seraph Sovereignty, which is searchable off the Scepter, summonable because of the Scepter. It's pretty much the 6-card engine of the deck that lets you go into your extra deck and really go make your plays really strong. Then for the rest of the monsters, 3 copies of Fluffal Wings to start out part of the Toy Vendor combo. You have 3 wings, self-explanatory. You banish it with a Fluffal monster, and you draw 2 cards after destroying your Toy Vendor. And then 3 copies of Fluffal Bear in the main deck because it goes with the Toy Vendor engine. You gotta run this at 3. And then for the last 2 monsters, the 2 copies of Gofu the Vague Shadow. He is your 1-card Decode Talker. Summon him, make your Decode Talker, summon Hero Perfection. Now you got a 2800 defense position monster on the board that can negate cards your opponent activates. And you have a Link monster that sits at 2800 attack because it gains 500 for each monster linked to it. So that rounds off all the monsters in the main deck. Moving on to the spells and traps, we have 3 copies of Ritual Sanctuary. This card is insanely good. Send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard. Search your deck for any 1 ritual monster or ritual spell card as your hand. You can pitch a Toy Vendor off this card to start your Toy Vendor combo. You can also pitch off any dead spells that you don't need in your hand to get to the ritual monsters or ritual spells you need to make your plays. It's just really good. And the second effect is just as good, where you can just send a number of spell cards from your graveyard back to your deck, and then special summon a monster from your graveyard that's a fairy, whose level equals to the number of spell cards that are sent back to the deck. So pretty much you send 4 spells back, you got a Star Seraph Scepter from the grave or a Sovereignty from the grave. You can get your hero back from the grave, you can get a dead Ben Tenant from the graveyard back to the field, and have some push power for attack if need be. Next, I run 3 copies of Herald of Perfection's Ritual Spell, Dawn of the Herald. This card is cool, this card is amazing. When it's used in tandem with Ben 10, you can send this card to the banish this card from the graveyard and get your Ben 10, not special, but get your Ben 10 back to the hand, which is really cool for being able to have the Herald, and then you have at least the Ben 10 in the hand so you can negate cards your opponent control, your opponent's going to activate. Next, I run 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. Searches your Herald and the Ritual Spell. So if you open up with this and a Ben 10, you're guaranteed to get the Herald on board with at least 2 fairies in hand. Considering you get the Ben 10 back off the Dawn, and you're going to get your free search from Ben 10 to search that light fairy, so you have at least 2 negates in your hand. Next to the spells, I run 3 copies of the remaining engine of the Toy Vendor combo, or the Toy Vendor engine, which is Toy Vendor itself. Pitch this with the effect of Ritual Sanctuary to search out your bear or wings, and you're missing Toy Vendor Fluffal card you need. You can pitch this up to the it's just insane. Pitching this to the graveyard, searching like your bear, then using bear to pitch to the graveyard to get this to the field, using wings to then draw and reveal a card, draw 2 cards. It's just really good. Then I run 3 copies of Terraforming. Searches your Ritual Sanctuary. It's pretty much good in the deck. Ritual Sanctuary is a card you want to see at any given moment in the game, and Terraforming can just get you there. And then for the last 2 of the last spell cards, 2 copies of Fool's Spirit of Goods. The reason why I run this is because of the Toy Vendor itself. You can activate this. Say like you get this and a Fluffal Wings in hand. You can activate this, send the toy vendor to the graveyard, use toy vendor to search bear, use bear's effects to get toy vendor to the field, activate toy vendor. It helps with the toy vendor combo, and it's mainly used to get to the toy vendor combo itself. And then for the last spell, I run one copy of Upstart Goblin, because Upstart Goblin lets you draw cards. I know your opponent gets 1,000 life points in the process, but it's pretty good. And then for the only two traps I run 2 copies of Solemn Strike. When Herald runs out of fairies, Strike is your backup. So that rounds off all the spells, traps, and monsters in the deck itself. Moving on to the extra deck, we run 2 copies of Link Spider. You summon him by using the Gofu tokens that you summon using Gofu, and it pretty much helps you get to Deco Talk herself, which is the next card I run in my extra deck, is 2 Deco Talkers. And I run Deco Talker at 2 because Gofu gets out the Deco Talker, because it's a 1 card Deco Talker, and then if I go into the Star, and if I lose Deco Talker, but then go into like the Starstraft combo, I can make Starstraft Scepter into a Sovereignty, into another Sovereignty, draw 2 cards off of both Sovereignties, and then just send it into the graveyard to get out the Deco Talker, or go into my extra deck for Exceed plays or whatever. And then for the rest, and for the next Exceed monster is Exceed. I run my rank 4 Gaga Cowboy. Late game wins. Summon Scepter from the graveyard from the Ritual Sanctuary, second effect. Almost summon another Starstraft Scepter from the hand. Make your Cowboy 800 points of damage to get your game in the late game if you need it. It's always good to have that. He's always been good. In my personal opinion, having one in your extra deck doesn't hurt the deck, because it's always good to be able to have that one Exceed that just goes make the Exceed and just push for game. Then I run 1 copy of Gaga Samurai for my only other rank 4 monster that I use using 2 rank 4s, or using 2 level 4 monsters. And that's because you can attach material and then go 19 attack, and then attack again for 19. So if you have a Herald on the board and you get like 2 Scepters on the board, you can make a Samurai and go 19 plus 19 plus 18 and put some pretty decent amount of damage on the board. So, and of course they're both Gaga's, Cowboy and Samurai. Then I run 1 copy of Utopia, because he's the last and only rank 4 monster that requires 2 to summon him. Every other rank 4 left in the deck is either a 2 6s or 3 level 4s. But yeah, you can just use the 2 Scepters and you summon on the board to make your Utopia, then Exceed into Utopia Lightning. It's part of the Utopia package, and you get a lot of use out of him. Then I run 1 copy of Stellar Knight Deltaros. This card is insane. 3 level 4 monsters to summon this thing, but every time you summon a monster, you can attach a material from this card and destroy 1 card on the board. So being able to use Scepter into Sovereignty, draw 2 cards, Exceed into Deltaros, use this effect to pop a card, use the effect that it gets from Scepter to pop a card on the field, and then draw a 3rd card, and then being able to summon Herald directly afterwards to pop another card by his effect to attach material is extremely, really good. And then I run, for the next Exceed, I run 2 copies of Evil Swarm Ouroboros, 3 level 4 monsters, summon it off the Starstraft combo to destroy a card, draw a card off the Starstraft Scepter's effect that it gives the Ouroboros, and then the ability to detach material and either send a card from the opponent's field back to the hand, send a card from the opponent's hand to the graveyard, or banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. It's really good and really powerful. This card is a definite must in the extra deck if you're playing Heralds. I would definitely put this at 2. It's worth running at 2. Next I run 1 copy of number S39, Utopia Prime. And the reason why I run him is because, of course, you can just Exceed into Utopia, then overlay this on top of your Utopia, and then use him to use Lightning to overlay on top of him. But also, he only requires 3 level 4 light monsters, so you can hard summon this guy using the Starstraft engine, Scepter, Sovereignty, hard summon Prime, and then make your Lightning without the use of Utopia, if you need to do so. And then speaking of Utopia Lightning, of course, we run the 1 copy of Utopia Lightning, so we have the entire Utopia package. And then for my rank 6s, because I run 2 rank 6s, and I also run a fusion monster in my deck, I run 1 copy of Stellar Polymetus M7. If I can get 2 Heralds on the board, but I don't have any fairies to negate with, because maybe I ran out of fairies, or it's late game, and I have 2 Heralds, and I just need to get that damage on the board, and he has that one monster, I can succeed from Fellow Menace M7 using the 2 heralds, pop a monster back to their hand, swing for 2700 attack, take the game if necessary. It's just a really powerful card and really good, and I really only use it for late games if I have 2 heralds on the board and I don't have any fairies for herald's effect. And it's like at the point where I'm like, if I can just get this damage on the board, I can win. So definitely run that at 1. And then for the last Exceed monster, I run Butress, Lady of the Eternal. Of course, everyone knows what she does. She requires 2 level 6 monsters. You summon her off of the Herald, off of 2 Herald Affections. And if the opponent somehow in the late game, like when I use her in late game, if the opponent somehow is able to get rid of her on the board by destroying her or whatever, you can then use her effect to summon this guy. The 1 copy of Dante, Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss. So if I lose my Butress, I gain a Pilgrim, and Pilgrim is powerful as crap. Probably the only fusion I'm going to run in this deck. But that takes care of all the extra deck monsters. Moving on to my sideboard, I run 2 copies of Duelist Lockbird, because nowadays every deck in the game seems to want to be able to just drop a search card or use a draw power card to further thin their deck down before they make their board. You know, True King Dinosaurs, they want to activate that Fossil Dig the Search. They want to activate most players are just going to sit there and just drop a Pot of Desires to banish 10 and draw 2, and you just draw and Lockbird them, and they just can't do shit after that. It just stops them from making any more draw, adding any cards to their hand. And then of course, 2 copies of DD Crow, because Zoo is still a thing, and preventing them from getting their monsters back from the graveyard, or say for instance they go Chaka 9 to effect and they go to target a Zoo monster in the grave they want to summon, you can drop that DD Crow, take that targeted monster and banish it, so now the Chaka 9 loses its target and its effect will fizzle. Not to mention, True Dracos are running around as well, so when you got True Draco Masterpiece on the board and he wants to banish a continuous spell or trap, you can target the card that they're targeting to banish it before they get to banish it, and the effect just fizzles. So it's really, really good. That's why I'm keeping this in my sideboard, because of those 2 decks being the 2 best decks in the game, and their like graveyard synergy is insanely good. Then I run 2 copies of Humongous the Sticky String Kaiju. Kaijus are self-explanatory. Opponent has a giant monster on the board. You can't get over it. You Kaiju the monster. Then for my spells, I run 1 copy of Regeki and 1 copy of Dark Hole, because why not blow up your opponent's board and then take the game? Because this is so good at using, so good at doing, it's so good. Then I run 2 copies of Twin Twister, because the problem that this deck has, honestly, is cards like Imperial Order, cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance, cards like Unending Nightmare. When those cards get dropped on the board, if my opponent drops an Anti-Spell Fragrance, I can't activate my spell cards to get my Herald out or use the Toy Vendor combo. It's going to take me a while to get the board set up with that card active. And with Twin Twister, just pop the card, opens up the ability to use your spells again. It's just a must-have in my sideboard because of the fact that I mainly use a lot of spells to get to my cards. And if you drop that Anti-Spell Fragrance or that Imperial, or just Anti-Spell Fragrance in general, I just stop that with this card. And then I run 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, because sometimes, like I said, Herald doesn't always go off because you may not have the fairies in hand. And if they try to activate a card effect or a monster effect on the board and you don't have the fairies to negate it, and they're trying to, like say for instance, they're activating a monster effect like Masterpiece to destroy your Herald, and they use the monster in a trap to summon it, and it's not immune to spells, you can just drop a bit of Lance on them and the monster will just lose its effect altogether. And then 2 copies of Massacre Restricts, because Massacre Restricts is the out to True Dracos, which is the best deck in the game right now, the most powerful deck in the game. Drop a Massacre Restricts on the opponent when they're playing True Dracos, they're not summoning that Masterpiece. And then the last 2 cards in my extra deck in my sideboard is the Floodgate Trap Holes. And when they simultaneously summon a bunch of monsters, or if they even summon it all, you can just flip them face down, and it's just really, really good. So, hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. What I want to do now is show you guys a couple combos that you can pull off with this deck. So I'm going to pull out a couple cards here and show you a couple opening combos. Let's say we open up with the Ben 10, and we open up with fluffal wings. We open, where's that? Foolish burial goods. Then we open pre-prep. And just for the hell of it, we haven't, let's just say we open up, that's the opening hand. Okay, for example, we have this as our opening hand. This is probably the most standard and easiest opening hand to pull. This is probably the opening hand you're going to see on a consistent basis with this deck. So what we're going to do with this hand is we're going to activate our pre-prep. And then we're going to add a +1 by adding the herald. And we're going to add our ritual spell, Dawn of the Herald, to our hand. After that, we're going to push the pre-prep to the grave. We are then going to continue to thin our deck down by activating Foolish Burial Goods. And we're going to search our deck, and we're going to send Toy Vendors to the graveyard. We're then going to activate Toy Vendors effect in grave by adding our Fluffal Bear to our hand. So now if you notice, our hand is still sitting at 6, or should be sitting at 6 cards in our hand. We have the side range of Ben 10, the Fluffal Wings, the Star Seraph Scepter, the Herald Perfection, Dawn of the Herald, and Fluffal Bear. So now, to continue this combo, because this combo is really, really insanely good, we're going to pitch our bear to the graveyard, and we're going to search that second Toy Vendor from the deck, and we're going to set that Toy Vendor face down. And now that we're done doing that, we're now ready to summon our Dawn of the Herald, our Herald Perfection, by activating Dawn and pitching the Ben 10 to grave, still keeping the 2-card hand. Okay, it's still at 2. We're going to use Ben 10's effect, and we're going to search the Star Seraph Sovereignty so that we can finish our Star Seraph combo. So now we have our Sovereignty and our Scepter in our hand, as you can see there. Dawn gets banished. We will add the Ben 10 back to hand. We are now went from a 6-card hand to a 4-card hand, but that's not going to hurt us at all because we're about to go back from a 4-card hand to a 5-card hand by activating Toy Vendor and using its effect to pitch a wings from the hand to the graveyard. We are going to then draw, say, a random card from the hand. We're going to draw, say, a random card. Say if it's not a Fluffal, it goes to the graveyard. So let's say we just top deck the Herald Perfection. That goes to the graveyard. And then we're going to use Toy Vendor's effect, the Wings and Bears effect. We're going to banish these 2 cards. And we're going to draw 2 cards to our hand, putting us back at 5. We are now sitting, so now if you look at the board, we are sitting on a Herald Perfection, Toy Vendors in the grave, and we have 5 cards in hand. 3 of those cards being fairies, so we know if we stop here, we have at least 3 negates for Herald's effect, but we're not done yet. We are now going to activate the Star Seraph Scepter, which then triggers the Sovereignty. We will draw 1 card for Sovereignty. We will then use Scepter's effect to grab that second Sovereignty into our hand, and it will summon itself to the field. And then we will draw another card. And if you've noticed now, we now have a board of Scepter, Sovereignty, Herald. Still have 5 cards in hand, and depending on what we top deck, if we want to set a card face down and exceed summon and try to destroy one of our own cards, so we can then, just draw a power card off, draw off of it. It's really, really good. Anyway, that is the combo, and I'm going to finish this off right here by just making let's just say we just make the exceed right here. As you can see, I'm going to pull these cards down to the side so you can see it better. We have the Scepter, Sovereignty, and let's just say we exceed summon into, for example, the Stellar Knight Deltaros. We now have Deltaros on the board. We use the effect to say, we use the on-summon effect, for instance, we put a card face down in our background, say we top deck Toy Vendor, it's dead to us, so we just put it face down, so Stellar Knight Deltaros will destroy the Toy Vendor. For example, we're sitting on 4 cards, well, we were sitting on 5, and then we're going to destroy and just draw another card. So our hand is still sitting at 5. We have 5 cards in hand. The Ben 10's guaranteed in whatever we top decked, and we're still good. We have a Deltaros at 25 that can use its effect whenever we summon a monster, and we still have that Herald Perfection. So that's one of the combos you can play with this deck. let's go ahead and set up one more combo, and it's gonna go. And I'm gonna use this combo to showcase how you can go into link summoning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset this combo back up. Only we're gonna have a different opening hand. We have the Ben 10, and it's in the graveyard. Okay, alright. We have the pre-prep, and then we have, for example, the Fluffal Bear. And where is he at? He is in the main deck. And we just grab our Gofu. We have Gofu, and let's just say we have Soul Strike. So that's another kind of common opening hand we can pull here. So as you can see here, we have the Angel, the pre-prep. So we have the Herald play right here in our hand. We have the Bear. All we need is the Fluffal Wings, which is searchable off the Ben 10. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make the Gofu and get our 2 tokens. Then we're going to Link Spider with 1 token, Link Spider with another token, going first. We're then going to send the 3 to the graveyard. Then we're going to make our Deco Talker. So which I can show you, which is right there. Then we're going to set our Soul Strike face down, because this is something we do. Pre-prep for the Ben 10, or sorry, for the Herald and Dawn. So we add our Herald, and we add our Dawn and the Herald to the hand. Then we're going to activate the Dawn by pitching the Ben 10 to the grave. As you can see, get the Herald. We're then going to search our Fluffal Wings, which we have in our graveyard somewhere. And now we've got a Bear and a Wings in hand. This is what our hand should look like right now. We should have a Bear, a Wings, and an Angel in hand. We already have Deco Talker on the board with a Herald of Protection underneath the Deco Talker in the bottom left corner or bottom right corner. That way, the Deco Talker gains to 500, so you have a 2800 attack power Deco Talker with a 2800 defense position Herald of Protection with at least 3 negates in hand already. We already have the 3 fairies right there, but we're going to take it a step further. We're going to pitch the Bear. We're going to grab our toy vendor, set it face down. Now we have 2 cards face down. We will activate our toy vendor, pitch our Wings, draw a reveal, say it's a Scepter, goes to the grave. We're then going to banish our Wings and Bear. Then we're going to destroy toy vendor, and we're going to go 1, 2 cards. So now if we top deck 2 more fairies, we still have 3 fairies in hand with the Herald of Perfection. If we top deck a Scepter and Sovereignty, we can make the Star Strap combo to go into like an Exceed monster underneath the Deco Talker. So now he becomes a 33 beat stick. But we're just going to assume that we just drew with the 2 random cards that weren't fairies, or maybe just 2 fairies that just don't synergize, like you got a Scepter and a Wings. So we still have a Deco Talker at 2800 attack, a Herald of Perfection at 2800 defense, and at the least, we'll have 1 fairy for Herald's effect to negate with, and we still have our Soul Strike setting face down, so if we can't use the Herald's effect, we have to strike to go with that. But anyway, that's two of the combos you can make with this deck. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video and the update to my Herald of Perfection deck, or as I call it, Build-A-Bear Herald. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like the video if you like this video, if you think it was great. Subscribe to the channel for more great Yu-Gi-Oh content coming from Team Guild Game themselves. I've got the captain hopefully coming soon with his deck profile of his amazing deck that he wants to show off to the world. And anyway, this is Johnny Akusa signing out.